Hi, I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. We're doing another tips and technique video for you today, and today we're going to be working on heart ornaments, and I'll give you some other options besides just the ones that I have. Today we're going to be working with QuikAluminum, which is basically a silver, and the really nice thing about this is it dries really fast. This dries in 5 to 7 minutes, but because it is sturdier and dries so fast, it's great to work with molds because you don't need a lot of dry time. You want them to get dried and it's not as liquidy and hard to get out of the mold as the other is. So this is really a neat one to work with our molds. I have been using a lot of the Wilton cake fondant molds, and this one is a great one. It has your heart, it has your leaves, it's got two size heart, it's got a rose, it's got a bunch of swirls, it's got some pearl ornaments. This one is one that I use for a lot of the different projects that we're going to be working on, so this is a great mold. You also can take these and cut these apart, which are easier to use individually. I don't do it because I am traveling so much and I want to keep them in one piece so I don't lose them. So know that you can just take your hobby knife and cut them apart. This is the tightest cut you have right here is in this section, and I wanted to make sure that you could do it, and then they'd be easier for you to use. We're going to be using a foam heart, and you can find these at just about anywhere. The craft section, the hobby store, Walmart, the dollar store, any of those kind of things, and they're just foam hearts. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to take my foam heart and I'm going to take my hole puncher, and this was a little bit smaller one than the bigger next size up, and we're just going to punch our heart in it so that we can get our string through here. And you want to make sure that you have enough here that it doesn't just pull out, and you could always reinforce it from the back. And I'm going to take my cording, and this is kind of a silver or gray cording to match my silver quick aluminum, and I'm just going to do as much as I need and cut it. And I'm simply going to push this through my hole and pull it and loop that through so it hangs. And that's all I did, and we're just going to bring that down. Just be careful that you don't tear your foam. You could do these on wood hearts and make pins out of them or necklaces, or you could do the quick aluminum first and use a cookie cutter and make your heart base and put your hole in it. That would make a beautiful necklace or keychain or all kinds of things. So don't get stuck with just doing what I told you, showing you today. The first rule when we're working with QuikWood or QuikSilver, QuikCopper, any of those, is always take your jewelry off because it will attach rock hard to your jewelry. I did have one the other day I forgot to do, and it did attach pretty good onto it. I did get it off, but it took a while. Now, when you're working with this, you open it up. First thing you do is going to remove that little piece right there. I'm also going to put my vegetable spray on my hands and also on to my mold, on the part I am working on. We'll remove that there so you can see that. And when I spray it on my hands, I also wipe it onto my scissors as well, because I usually take my scissors and cut that off. I have a smaller piece that I'm working with here today. You only cut as much as you're going to use. This dries really fast, so you don't want to have any extra. What's really great about this mold is there's smaller pieces in here, so if I have an extra that doesn't fit into my mold, I'll put it in one of these smaller pieces and let it harden, and then I have that to use for something later. So that's a real fun thing to remember, is to use that. And you can also use sections of the mold. You don't have to use the whole mold. If there's a end that you like I use this part from here on up quite a bit, bit too, so you don't have to use the whole thing. You can use a partial of it. Now we're kneading this until it's all one color, and then I just simply come in here and start pressing it around my mold. And it could almost use a little bit more, but it's not bad. You don't ever want it where it starts to come over the top, because if you squish it on, you're going to have it squish out of the sides. So you always want to push it towards the middle. Now what I'm going to try and carefully do with this one, just pull it out. Now if you had a smaller one, like we talked about cutting them apart, you can simply just roll it onto your piece a lot of times, the back part, and it'll come right out on the object that you're working on. But foam is not as sticky, so it doesn't quite do that as easy. Now there's a green part in here from something else, I'm not quite sure what, probably crayon from the last video we just did. Let's see if I can get it out here or not. Oh well, we're just going to leave that. But see how delicate that already looks, and how simple that was. Now what I'm going to do, you can do this, you don't have to, is I'm going to take some shimmer powder or some embossing powder, and my hands are slick because of the vegetable oil on them. Let's see if I can get it off. And I want a lime green on this to make the pink stand out. And always pounce onto your lid, never go directly onto your piece. And we're just going to add some shimmer here. Okay, that's it. It really is that simple. I would come in and varnish it to keep your embossing powder or your shimmer powder in place. But like I said, think of all the different things that you can do with this, all the different designs that you can make. I used a smaller heart, and I told you about using half of the pieces and everything, and you can make them bend around to make the shape of your heart and everything, and these would be really pretty on wood, or like I talked about, rolling out your QuikAluminum first and cutting it with a cookie cutter, and then using that as your base, and then putting this on top would be really, really elegant. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about anything we did today, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. For more of these videos, please visit my website at miriamjoy.com. You can also find products that we're using, like the QuikAluminum, on there, and different products like that. And also on Facebook, I'm always posting up different projects and try and give you something every day to inspire you at Miriam Joy Gourd Creations. Thank you so much for joining me today, and God bless.